Hi, it's Matt here from Go Green Autos. So I've purchased some mud flaps for a Tesla Model S on AliExpress. I've never used AliExpress before, but I thought I'd give it a go because these only cost £20.69 delivered. So I thought if they turn up and they're a load of rubbish, it's not the end of the world to lose that amount of money. But I'm very, very impressed. So I ordered these only on the 23rd of May and it's now the 1st of June and they've just turned up by post. And actually I had an email last week to say they were in the country and ready to be posted. So actually, because we've had a bank holiday weekend, they've only in reality would have taken a week. So 1 week to get these from China. Really good deal. And I'll just show you. So this says it's Tesla Model S Type 1002 RL. So rear left. So that's your rear left. This is your FL, front left. And as you can see, it's sort of soft plastic. This goes underneath the sill. So yeah, huge support area. Not particularly big area there dropping down below the tyre, you know, not massive protection, but then you probably don't want that on a Model S because they're quite low already, otherwise it's going to be hitting things. But yeah, very impressed. We get some fitting instructions. They're the other side, and we've also got here the fixings. So we've got some screws and some plastic trim push rivet type things. So that one goes something like that, and the front ones like that. So I think I'm going to clean this, get it in the workshop, take the wheels off and have a go at fitting them. So looking back at the instructions, they don't really give you any instructions how to fit other than saying you might have to drill your own holes, and the tools you're going to need is a screwdriver and a drill and some tape. So the fixings, we've got 6 plastic trim fixings, 6 screws, 2 spring clips for the screws, and then we've got 4 of these spring clips. So yeah, 1 of each and 2 extras. So yeah, it's a case of working it out as I go along. So I've got the back wheel off, and that mud flap is going to go like that. So it's obvious it's going to be using this fixing that's already there. It's not going to use that one, which I was surprised because it's nearly there, it's right on it. But anyway, the mud flap is cut too short to use that one. We might have to put a screw in there, but yeah, that one of the spring clips might just go on there. I'm not sure, that looks a bit too deep. But anyway, looking underneath, so yeah, we're not using this existing fixing, but we're going to take that one out, and that will be on that tab there. And it does then require a screw hole for this one here. So yes, while we've got to put a couple of holes in, it does fit very nicely. And also the colour of this black plastic matches the trim at the bottom of the bumper. I think the newer Teslas, this is painted anyway, so you're not going to get that, but yeah, it all blends in rather nicely. So for now, I'm not going to fix this permanently. I'm going to do the front mud flap just so I can be sure that I'm using the correct fittings in the right place. I don't want to start drilling this just yet. So I've used the existing plastic trim rivet, or whatever you call these, push fit fittings to hold the mud flap there. And then the one at the bottom, the original one didn't quite seem long enough, so I've just temporarily put one of the new ones there for now. I'm not going to put a hole there just yet or drill into that one or that one. I thought I'll get on and fit the front one first, just to double check what fittings I'm going to be using there. When it comes to the front mudguard, so we're going to have a spring clip at the top. We've got two fixings here, and that is utilising two existing plastic fittings, and then there's just one other at the bottom, and that goes up into, I'm not sure whether I'm getting the camera in the right place there, but that goes up into the first hole in the jacking point, and in there is a hexagon nut on your jacking point, so we've got to take that out. So I would suggest fitting the front mudguards first. Don't bother jacking the car up, just tilt the wheels out the way so you can get in there without jacking it up, because obviously you want the jacking point free to access that first bolt. And then when you've fitted the front ones, you're going to have all the fittings left which you can then utilise on the back ones. So that bolt you have to remove from the first hole inside the jacking point. It's got a 13mm head, so you'll probably want a 13mm deep socket, and then that is going to sit in the mudguard like that. So fitting the front mudguards is relatively easy. I've used the new plastic trim clips for these two, replacing the original, just purely because they are deeper, and put the bolt back in the jacking point there, and then all I've got to do is put this spring clip holding this edge to the inner wing there, and job done. So back onto the rear one, we can now see what fittings we've got to finish this one off. So 3 screws, that spring clip, and then that spring clip which is going to go on the back of a screw. So this metal spring clip would go on here, but as you can see, the bumper of the Tesla is a bit too far to the left for that to really grip the mud flap, so I think I'm probably going to put a screw in there, or maybe leave it, because we've got a fixing there, and probably can get away with not having a fixing there, but at worst I'm going to put one of those self-tapping screws in. Here is going to be a self-tapping screw, which I need to double check, but I think it's just going into the wheel arch liner. And then underneath, just need one self-tapping screw up there, and that's job done. So the back one is now on. I've put the self-tapping screw at the bottom there, just drilled a small pilot hole with my drill bit there, straight into the plastic. The same here. Let me just get the torch on it. Yeah, the same here. Small pilot hole, self-tapping screw straight through. And I've done the same at the top one now. Let's just get the light on it. The black plastic spring clip, I gave up trying to get that to sandwich the mud flap to the bumper. It's just not enough room, and I tried and tried anyway. I gave up. You can see it's still sat there. I'll just leave that there. So self-tapping screw straight into the bumper. Job done. All I've got left is one spring clip to go on the back of a screw, but you can't get to any of the back of the screws, well, not easily anyway, without getting your hand behind the wheel arch liner, but you'd have to start taking it apart to do that. So if you drill a small enough hole, you can just run these self-tapping screws in just fine, as long as you don't do them up too tight. But yeah, that's on there well, and it all moulds very nicely with the Tesla bumper. So this side is done. I'm quite impressed with them, to be honest. They are so cheap. £5 a corner. And as you can see, they all fit absolutely perfectly, mould just right to the bodywork. On the front one here, there's a little gap here, but that's just where the nut, well, the bolt, sorry, in the jacking point is torqued up, and it's just caught it and twisted it a bit. So I'll undo that and redo that up tight, and that will probably sit flat. But yeah, really nice fit. So they only add about an inch, so I don't know whether it's going to make a huge difference, but time will tell. We're into the summer now, so probably won't have too many more wet days, but they actually look quite good. So yeah, I'm very pleased. For £20, or £20.69p, in total delivered. No tax to pay, no VAT to pay on import because they're so cheap, and on the parcel it said it had a value of $5. So yeah, very impressed with them.